Welcome, everyone. Salve omnes. That's in classical Latin, my welcoming for this channel. Latin language revival. Please excuse any noise in the background. They're working up in the roof and doing work around the place that I live at. So hopefully they won't be too loud. Today's presentation is on the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March. This is sort of like the Friday the 13th for Romans, kind of the day of bad luck and ugly things that happen. And that's why it's called the Ides. Now, where does the word Ides come from? There's actually a movie out there with that name, that title as well. For that, we have to go way back to the kingdom days of Rome. Numa Pompili is here depicted, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the kings, maybe even the first king of the Roman kingdom when it first began. And we see a calendar here, or months, starting with March. March was the first month of the year, I'm so sorry. First month of the year for Romans. And then if you can see here, we find Quintilis and Sextilis after Junius. Quintilis, Sextilis, 5, 6, and then September 7, October 8, November, 9, Decem, 10. So Quintilis and Sextilis were replaced with July and August in the Julian era, or Julius Caesar era, and then later on it stayed that way. On this depiction, we see a fragment of a calendar that was found somewhere, who knows where, around the Roman regions, the Roman Empire regions. If you ever hear the word calends, which is referred many times in literature, I'm not sure if maybe even Shakespeare has referred to it, I could be wrong. Calends refers to the first day of the month. That's all it refers to. The calends of March, the calends of July. That means the first day of the month. Nonis, or the nones, refers to the fifth day of the month, except March, May, July, and October, when on these months it falls on the 7th. These are the nones. The 13th day of the month is the Ides, or Idibus. So the 13th day of every month except March, May, July, and October, it falls on the 15th. So today, March 15th, is the Ides of March. Idibus Martius. The Ides of March. I'll explain why it's such bad luck, or considered that way. So the formula that's followed to place a number on each day is not the same as we follow today. We use the 20th of March, the 15th of August, and so on and so forth. Back then, they would use, well, I developed this formula. Hopefully it proves right. It's T minus X equals Y. T being the calends, the nones, or the Ides that we're wanting to count back from, or the most current one, or the upcoming one, I should say, the upcoming one. And then you take X, which is the previous calends, nones, or Ides. And then Y equals the number of each day as you count down to the current or upcoming calends, nones, or Ides. So, for example, we take the T, which is calends that we're talking about, and let's just say, what was yesterday? What is the number for yesterday's date in Roman terms? Well, you take today's Ides, which is the 15th, you subtract X, which is the previous one, which is nones, the nones, and that was on the 7th. That gives you Y being 8. So 15 minus 7 equals 8. That would technically be the number of the day for the previous knowns, which would be 8 days before the Ides, and then you count down from there. So that would bring to yesterday, which would be 1 day before the Ides of March. And what was used, the term was used, is ante diem. So it was 1 ante diem idibus martius. That's the way they used to count back. So every day had a certain number applied to it before, and it would be considered as before Calends, Knowns, or Ides, whichever it applied to. Hopefully that's not too confusing. You can put your comments and ask questions there. Maybe I can explain better on the following video. So the Ides of March, as we said, is March 15th, and they would abbreviate it as so. EID Mart. That's it. EID Mart. Idibus Martius. And here we come to why it was such a horrible day, why it is a day of bad luck, because this is the day that Julius Caesar was stabbed to death on the floor of the Senate, or the Curia, as they would refer to it. And this is the assassination of Julius Caesar, and from then on it became known as the Ides of March. And the quote that we see here is from Gaius Suetonius Tranquillus, who wrote, Curiam, in qua occisus est obstrui placuit idusque martias parricidium nominari, ac ne unquam eo die senatus ageretur. That means that the Senate had decided to make the Ides of March the day of parricide. And on this day, nothing was to be done from the Senate. So it was a day of solemn memory on what had occurred on that day when Caesar was killed. Et tu, Brute, or the famous line from Shakespeare when Julius Caesar was stabbed and he saw Brutus, who he considered a friend, confidant, and felt betrayed when he was stabbed by Brutus as part of the mob that assassinated him, or the senators that assassinated. And you, Brutus? Et tu, Brute? Tunc Caesar cadit. Then false Caesar. These are the lines from the Shakespearean play, Julius Caesar. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more. Wale.